Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Sinke, Chief Business Officer of Bittrex Global, and the host of our video AMA today. We are featuring Bantu, and our guest today is Ernest Mbenkum, CEO and co-founder of Bantu, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. So, Ernest, thank you for joining us today. And the Bittrex Global team is excited about our partnership with Bantu and to learn more about the XBN token.
Thank you for having me. Super excited to be part of this, and always a great pleasure interacting with Bittrex.
Yeah, these live video AMAs are fun, but when the phone rings, it doesn't make it go so well. And I apologize for definitely mispronouncing your name. So, Ernest, thank you again for being on the show. And for our video AMAs, we typically source questions from the Bittrex Global and crypto communities. So we source questions from around the internet to kind of build a list of what people are hoping to ask your team. And again, this is a Ask Me Anything. So let's dive in. And before we actually get into the specific questions, I think everybody wants to know a little bit about your background and your team's story. So if you could give our audience a bit of background on you and Bantu, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Ernest Mbenkum. I'm from Cameroon in West Africa. I live in Toronto, but I'm currently in Lagos where I'm doing this interview. I've been in the technology and innovation space for about 20 years and been in the blockchain space since 2009, starting with the Bitcoin blockchain. So Bantu and the ecosystem are really a team of amazing individuals from all over the world. Our team is made up of people from Asia, Africa, North America, and Europe. And they come from all backgrounds. We've got bankers, lawyers, accountants, engineers, data center developers, all sorts of people. And these people all came together and volunteered for almost a year to really build sort of the first Africa-led blockchain infrastructure for the world, with a particular focus on emerging markets and economies that have often been left behind at times when you have all of these innovations. And also, we have a very strong advisory board, the people we lean on, who are industry leaders in payments, banking, and major accounting firms who continue to guide us and help us to really make sure that our solutions and services are not only compliant, but they are really out there to help make a difference in the world. Thank you.
Yeah, you really do have a fantastic team. And I know we've been working together for a long time and in terms of getting the blockchain integrated into our system. And so thank you guys for your persistence and your availability to make that happen. I think blockchain in Africa is something that we're really excited about. And it's certainly one of the most exciting projects we've come across in that space from that geography. And in terms of the Bantu team themselves, can you tell us a little bit more about some of their backgrounds of the leadership team?
Okay, so some of our leadership, I'll start with the main team itself. We have guys who've worked in the major Fortune 500 companies, Apple, PwC, Cisco, Dell, etc. And we have people, obviously, with various backgrounds from the major banks in the world, Barclays, Standard Chartered, Merrill Lynch, all of that. And they all came together. And from our advisory perspective, we have people like from the Sterling Bank, for example, the Pan-African Payment Settlement System, which works with the major central banks on the continent. We have people who lead other major blockchains. They've worked in places like Tezos, Bitcoin Cash, Clayton in Korea, etc. And also in major accounting firms like PwC and other auditing firms. So the team is quite diverse and really bring a lot of experience across all these different sectors. And it's really what has helped us to really fine tune what we've built. to really make it available and sort of, how do you put it, in an age where we now see more regulation and compliance coming into play, they really help to guide us to stay ahead of the regulation and also to work with regulators to ensure that whatever we produce and whatever we create continues to work and serve the people without any threat of basically being taken down or blocked in any way, shape, or form. So the team is really there, and quite an amazing team, again, spread across the world. We've traveled extensively, we've worked around the world, so we have first-hand experience with the challenges, especially in the emerging markets, and we're able to bring the best practices from other developed and evolved markets out there to really bring them into these emerging markets. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Now that we've got some background on the project itself, and I might ask you later how you would describe it to someone who is not in crypto. But what are your plans to educate and raise awareness and drive adoption amongst the crypto community so that more people understand Bantu and its technology?
Yeah, so thank you for that. I mean, of course, we have the crypto community and then we have the non-crypto community. So our focus is really on the non-crypto community because those are the people you need to sell this to. And one of our core pillars is partnerships, So through our blockchain foundation, we have community hangouts. We just wrapped up one last weekend in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. We worked physically and virtually with mainstream organizations, including our banking partners, who also drive community events and things like that. And we have other partnerships with groups like Earnathon. It's a Nigerian-based entity where you earn as you learn. So they have a big focus on really educating people across various blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies. And we work with them and other groups like Bot Meet Cash, Convexity. And one of the things we have is our weekly Sunday broadcast on Telegram. We have a voice session where all community members can come and join the system, ask questions. We have the Bantu Talk forum, like Bitcoin Talk, where you can go there, post, read, learn. And obviously, we have our periodic updates that we push out on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And we also have on Telegram over 50,000 followers and users. We have about 10 subgroups in different languages, French, Indonesian, German, etc., to really help those who don't speak the language. And obviously, we've held 3 successful events already, our launch and 2 major hangouts in Africa's largest economy with over 200 million people. And that's obviously Nigeria. And also with our strategic partnerships with banking and payment institutions, they carry us along in some of these events. So we really have many avenues. We are also in discussions with influencers and other celebrities that can really help educate. And finally, we have solutions and services like what we call the Bantu local solutions, where our team members and ecosystem partners work with small to medium-sized enterprises to begin to earn rewards in Bantu when they in the XBN token when they accept our our tokens in addition to fiat payments. Thank you.
Very, very interesting. Thanks for that overview. And as we get closer to the end of the year, can you tell us about some important milestones that you've hit this year, as well as important things about the Bantu team that the Bantu team, intends to focus on in 2022?
Cool. Well, I mean, Bantu was born in the, let's say, forged in the fire of 2020 pandemic. So it was a very challenging time, and that propelled us into 2021, where we were successfully able to migrate our users from our testnet to our mainnet. We've built a lot of solutions and also established a lot of enterprise partnerships. We have our ecosystem partners like Interstellar, Convexity, Sterling Bank, System Specs that are really beginning to work with us to develop solutions, real-world solutions and applications, and ultimately to help us with on-off ramps for users willing to obviously acquire the token to build their own projects. And basically, we have also developed our not award winning, but our amazing app, the Bantu Pay wallet, in over 22 languages right now, which is also serves as a two-factor authentication device and service. You can obviously hold your assets there. And obviously a major milestone, we got listed on an exchange called Bittrex, and we also launched our token creator tool. So anyone without any programming or technical skills can go to our token creator tool that we have on our website and just issue their own digital assets and structure it, modify it, edit it, and basically build their ecosystems, so to speak. And you don't need any programming for this. We've also released through our community developers an on-chain game called Mitambo, where users can sort of play around with the XBN token. We've also developed with, again, supporting one of our ecosystem partners. There's a peer-to-peer marketplace that is essentially called Timbuktu in honor of a historical ancient trading site in Mali, in Africa. And again, it's helping many of the users who are still trying to learn about this. We've also been invited to key events to present. One of the last major events was in September. We were invited by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's been around for over 130 years to basically talk to the businesses about how they could leverage blockchain and really benefit from it. And ultimately, for 2022, we are looking seriously at the whole systems, like things like NFTs, DeFi, staking, and also introducing some major changes to our core protocol, which will allow our ecosystem users to earn rewards by supporting our network, running their own private nodes that support the ecosystem, as well as introducing some unique features like when you issue a token on our blockchain, you're able to earn some rewards from the network fees. Part of the network fees are paid back to you, the issuer of the token, each time one of your ecosystem members transacts using your token. So you don't have to depend on only going out to raise money. It's almost like getting a cashback as your community of users engage with you. So at the same time, we're looking at more partnerships. Even though we sort of kickstarted this in Africa, we had almost half of our ecosystem coming in from emerging markets like Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Philippines. So we are looking at expanding our outreach and really connecting with partners out there to build bridges to link all these different markets and ecosystems. Thank you.
And looking at your website, your motto states, "The blockchain that empowers humanity." Currently, there are still a number of people that haven't bought into blockchain technology, and they are not convinced that it's going to have the impact on the world that we think it will. So what are your thoughts on how to convince people that blockchain technology is valid, it's useful, and it is here to stay? And this is a question from our community. I think it's a pretty good question.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, this is so critical. I mean, especially in Africa, and other emerging markets where technology can almost seem mystical and very confusing. And there's always this confusion between blockchain and cryptocurrency. So we really focus on the blockchain element side and also focus on education. So you have to constantly educate people and not just working with the developers. And that's why when you look at Bantu, we didn't really launch like most layer one blockchains where you essentially go in and you bring in the developers. We went with the ecosystem first, with the people. We built a wallet. We started launching training programs right away so people could begin to participate. So there's so many educational programs we put out there in our communities. We also have daily updates on what's happening in the system about security, about protecting their wallets. We also focus a lot on real world use cases like tokenizing real estate, tokenizing art, agricultural commodities, things that are tangible that people can understand. Because it's very hard to explain certain tokens or assets out there to people because they can't touch them, they can't feel them, they can't see them. But when you show them how you can bind that into real world things that they are familiar with, it makes it easier. Obviously, on the ground, we have our community advocates that continue to meet with businesses on an ongoing basis, not just the business, but also the regulators, like with Convexity, constantly educating. We work with groups like the Blockchain User Group of Nigeria, which is always out there talking to government officials, talking to various bankers and institutions to really explain how this technology can help them. And also, we have local initiatives that I mentioned before, that we encourage businesses to earn rewards when they accept XBN. And we don't force them. We're not telling them to buy it. We just give it to them, which is a very different thing where a lot of companies sort of do ICOs to really push and promote them. We don't do that. We just tell people that this is a new way to earn all of this. And we try to make this very simple, eliminating all the technical jargon and really focusing on examples that are relatable within their own environments. And finally, we have a lot of virtual events, as we mentioned before, and we ensure that we strip away all the complexities and difficulties so that people can use it. And one of the major things we also did on our wallet, we make them offline first. This is very important because there's always sometimes the internet connectivity issues. Living in the West, we may become accustomed to high speeds and lights are always on and things like that. But in many emerging markets, internet is not always readily available and internet can be slow. So we design our apps to be offline first, so you can always access your latest data, which is cached in the wallets and services that we build. So you have a seamless experience, even when you have that low latency or high latency, so to speak. And you can continue to have that amazing user experience with our wallets and other services. Thank you.
And one of our users also asked, can you explain the key characteristics that differentiate Bantu from other similar projects? And what are the competitive advantages you have?
Okay, so obviously, for a project of this scale, I mean, when you look at various projects that have gone out there, Tron, Celo, Solana, and the rest, I mean, these guys raised tens of millions of dollars to go to market. Bantu, we went to market, we built all of this with nothing, no ICO, no funding. So it was just pure passion, which means that, I mean, we had people that worked literally for a year, day and night. Even to this day, we still have our meetings every day at, like 3 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., West African time. And it's this passion that continues to drive the project to build out the resources. And ultimately, one of the things obviously we've done is that the project is really tailored for people and the blockchain who have no technical or computing resources to compete in the cases like Bitcoin or Ethereum, where you can mine and have a competitive advantage if you live in the West and you can buy the ASICs. However, in our case, this whole solution is really putting the people first. And we are giving away the tokens, a lot of airdrops. We are not asking people to come and buy them, or join an ICO and things like that. And also our community members that really come and contribute, we do help them with grants to really help build. So if you have something, an idea or service that can really help grow the ecosystem, we provide grants for free in XBN token to really help you go out there. And also, the blockchain is really, really fast. And one thing I'd like to highlight as well is that I've been in the blockchain space since 2009, starting with Bitcoin. And I can tell you that this is one of the first, if not the first blockchain that has gone to market with a leading bank and leading payment institutions from day one. Typically, you launch a blockchain, you have to spend months or years. I mean, look at how long it took Bitcoin or Ethereum or even the most recent ones like Solana to get partnerships. We went live from day one because our partners truly believed in what we were doing, these banking institutions, these payment institutions, and gave us their full support. So these are things that really make us different. Plus, we are really focusing on primarily, again, in emerging markets. Typically, when we build these technologies, we just assume that everybody understands it. But in our case, we understand the challenges in emerging markets, specifically in sub-Saharan Africa. So we've chosen to focus there initially and to really help people catch up with the rest of the world, because today in a globalized system, we can't just have ecosystems where some are evolving and some are being left behind. So we do feel that we are unique in that regard, and the team truly and honestly believes that the community comes first, and the technology and other crazy things can come second. Thank you.
As a follow-up to that question, let's talk about market adoption. So it's something that's really important, securing market adoption at the right time. And how does Bantu plan to make sure that it's doing that?
Cool. Yeah, another very interesting and important question. So, as mentioned before, we've already secured partnership with leading industry players in the banking and financial sector. And as the industry gets more and more regulated, you can imagine how important this is for adoption. You can't really build something that is not usable, or it's almost like a gray area or considered to be something for the dark web. We are out in the open. You can see us, you can talk to us, and we have some very powerful advisors who go out publicly and tweet or share messages to their tens of thousands of followers. As a matter of fact, I mean, some of our solutions are being looked at, even considered for some CBDCs across Africa at the moment. And also, having built many working solutions in-house, we don't outsource our stuff, we build everything in-house. We are able to really build community focused, community centric, market related products, not just something that we think is good for the market. We actually talk to the people, collect the feedback, and really develop it. And we also have things like the developer hackathons, where we also give out rewards. So to really help expand our developer ecosystem, even though we didn't start with them, we've actually shifted now to really begin to focus on the developers to build the dApps and other solutions that really help our ecosystem to grow. Because again, if we don't do this and bring in partnerships and all these players, you can't really continue. And we feel that 2021 is a defining moment for blockchain. We had a major event like this. The last time we saw this sort of awareness was in 2017 in May, following the consensus event in New York City, which led to sort of this bull run and awareness in the space, which kind of died down. And then now we are seeing it from late 2020 to now, where there's this surge and adoption, obviously, with the ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs, and other things, raising more awareness. We are seeing now how various regulators are beginning to pay more and more attention to this. And with us at Bantu being guided by our advisors, we are really able to stay relevant. We are really able to stay competitive. We are really able to continue to innovate without threat of being taken down, so to speak. Thank you.
Hi, I'm back. I'm so sorry about that. My internet went out. I just completely disconnected from everything for no reason. So, where were we? I think we were talking about market adoption, right? And I'm hoping that the listeners got to see the end of that question.
Yep.
So, move on to the next question on the list, which is how can the community collaborate or help in the development of the project? And I'm sure you spend a lot of time with the Bantu community, and so I think our listeners would love to learn more about how they can get involved.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. I mean, our community is really what powers the Bantu ecosystem. I mean, without a community, you're essentially nothing. And Bantu, by the way, means people or humanity. So at the core of that is really our philosophy. And at the end of the day, we keep them engaged with many activities, both online, physically, and virtually and physically, and also depend on them really for our support. And so our developer communities, we have a developer head that kind of works with them. We have APIs, we have documents online on the bantufoundation.org website. As mentioned before, we have weekly voice chats on Telegram where everybody can really join for free, take part every Sunday. There is Bantu Talk in various languages. You can go in there and really contribute, add your own feedback. If you wish to partner with us, there's partnerships at the bantufoundation.org. If you're a developer, it's developers at bantufoundation.org. And again, we have services like when you download our Bantu Pay wallet, there's a referral system. So you can add, give your username to your friends and family. One of the unique things about our wallet is that you don't have to use these complex alphanumeric hashes or keys when transacting. You can send to Chris or send to Ernest, which is easier to remember. And you can give that name, that wallet username to your friends when signing up, and you can earn rewards for doing that. And again, we are available on all the social media platforms. You can reach out to us anytime. We have active engagements through our ecosystem partners as well, Ernathon, Botnicash, Convexity, Sterling. And through any of them, you can really reach out. We are really open. We are excited. We are always looking for new team members in various ecosystems, different countries, different languages. So if anybody has any idea, we are really open to embracing new ideas and how we can really help with their communities and their own countries. Because we are right now in over 170 countries, and we get a lot of requests from different people and for partnerships. And so feel free to reach out to us. We are very approachable, we are very open, and we are here to support all of you.
And getting back to the XBN token for a minute, can you describe the main role of the token itself in the Bantu ecosystem? And if you could talk about the token economics as well, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you. So the token itself, it's a utility token. So it's strictly used to power transactions and operations on the Bantu blockchain. So when you come and issue your own asset token or stable coin, the XBN is what is used to basically power that. The smallest unit of the XBN is called the Spirit. With Bitcoin, you have the Satoshi, Ethereum, you have the Gwei. Also with Bantu, we have the Spirit. So that's a really tiny fee that is used to cover transactions on the blockchain. It's also used to activate wallets. So you can't just use our wallet without activating it. It's also used to create your own tokens and trust lines. So in some ecosystems like Ethereum, anyone can send you an asset to your wallet. But with Bantu, I need to trust that wallet before you can send it. So we also, to those who are building real world like services in the financial space, the token can be used almost like a relay currency for stable coins to basically swap and do all sorts of other activities. On the side of tokenomics, we have basically 369 billion XBN tokens that will ever exist. Right now, we have about a billion that are in circulation. There's been no public ICO or IEO. We give this out. And at the same time, on the tokenomics side, the tokens, the team and basically the advisory holds about 25% of the tokens, and the remaining 75% are allocated for developers, ecosystem partners, community projects, grants, etc. And for the team members who are basically part of this from the beginning and other strategic partners, the tokens are vested over a 5-year period. So we don't really spend them right now or use them. They are held for the next 5 years, which will allow the ecosystem to really get these tokens into their hands. So if you're interested, if anyone is interested in being an ecosystem partner or player, they can essentially reach out to us again at partnerships or developers at bantufoundation.org, and we can help them get some of these out into their hands. So the tokenomics, compared to many projects we've seen out there, it's one of the fairest in terms of being in a way that we've not really done an ICO or IEO. We've given it away to the people, and that's really part of our spirit in helping people to drive adoption, because the true value itself is not so much the XBN, it is what is built on top of the blockchain, as well as the other assets and stable coins that are going to be put on top of it, including NFTs. So yeah, that's a nutshell about our tokenomics. In future, we may burn some tokens depending on how the ecosystem is evolving. But we are also going to introduce some very interesting features like staking and other DeFi services. Thank you.
Can you tell us more about the Convexity projects that you've implemented on the Bantu blockchain? And you mentioned it a little bit, but I think we need more information.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are a group of really, really amazing guys. They are based out in Abuja in Nigeria, and they've really leveraged this technology for humanitarian purposes, which is really key in an era where, there are a lot of challenges and problems in the world today, and it's very hard to get aid to people. You might raise $1 million, but by the time it gets to the intended recipient, it's about 100,000 left. So by leveraging blockchain, Convexity is really changing the way humanitarian aid and relief is delivered. They have, I think, a product called CHATS, which stands for Convexity Humanitarian and Aid Transfer Solution, which makes it very easy to track aid, every penny from donors to the individuals. And basically, we can't wait to see what they're going to do with this. And it's really a game changer for how aid is delivered. They also provide incredible training for blockchain with kids as young as 6 years of age. I mean, we visited them about 3 months ago at their head office, and we actually saw them working with like kids from 6 to 12 years old, programming on blockchain. So that was really amazing. And they work very closely with regulators and other institutions to really create this awareness from a less technical but to a more real world and practical approach. So we really commend them for the humanitarian work they're doing and how they can really make aid really more transparent. Thank you.
And switching gears from that for a second, and thank you for that answer. That was really helpful to get an overview of Convexity.
Yeah.
But I think a topic that's on everybody's mind these days is NFTs. So what are your thoughts on NFTs and how Bantu may or may not be working with them or integrating NFTs into the platform?
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing right now, right? I mean, NFTs with the whole metaverse. I mean, we see Facebook is now Meta. And so here in Africa, especially, I mean, people are really, really getting on board with this and looking at how they can leave the physical universe and start moving into a sort of digital metaverse. And so Bantu is really following this very closely. We are talking to people and partners locally that are already exploring various interpretations of what these NFTs can look like, from African art to basically physical objects that can, or art pieces, rare pieces from across the continent that can be turned into NFTs or fractionalized and literally used, for many interesting purposes. As a matter of fact, I mean, we are talking even to banks and some key stock exchanges, here, that are actually working on listing NFTs. So that's a whole game changer. And for Bantu, we are obviously adapting our protocol, particularly on the smart contract side, to really support some of these new innovative services. Our business development and community engagement teams are already running internal tests and carrying a lot of R&D in terms of building out NFT marketplaces where our end users can really and seamlessly come on board, deploy their NFTs, and really go to market. There are many successful stories already of NFTs being deployed on other ecosystems. We are seeing people who didn't have jobs, who didn't really have opportunities to go to school, who've embraced sort of artistic skills using basic paint in Microsoft Windows, not even sophisticated tools like Photoshop, using just Microsoft Paint to create NFTs, and they've made a lot of money. They've been able to buy homes and take care of their families. So NFTs are really something that is in the roadmap for Bantu, and it's something we'll probably be looking at early in 2022. Thank you.
Well, I think I'm just taking a look at the outstanding questions right now to see if there's anything else from the community that's really interesting to ask about. But I think we covered everything that was critical to talk about. Is there anything else you wanted to mention?
I think there was the security aspect.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. We'd love to talk about that.
I mean, really, because
yeah, let's talk a little bit about what Bantu has done to ensure the information of its customers and assets are safe. Anything related to the token in terms of contract audits. I mean, security is our bread and butter. We certainly believe that that's just fundamental to interacting with the blockchain. So,
yeah. No, thank you for that. I mean, obviously, coming to Bittrex, I mean, with your reputation as being probably the only exchange that has never been compromised, that's one of the key drivers that brought us to you. And one of the things we have at Bantu is really a security-first approach when building our infrastructure and solutions. So we leverage enterprise-grade security protocols and encryption to basically deploy our services that we use. And this security is something that we don't take for granted. We have to implement it in a way that does not affect the user experience, because sometimes you can put all these security layers and it becomes almost a disservice to your ecosystem. So one of the things we do from the beginning is that our wallets and services are non-custodial. Okay, so we don't hold your assets. They are held on chain and they are protected by your private key, which is in your wallet. We don't control that. So there is nothing to hack. There is no place to go and break into to access your tokens. Any assets issued on the blockchain, stable coins, operate with the same principles. So with that freedom, it comes with a lot of responsibility, because if you lose your key, you can lose your tokens. So there's a lot of education, videos, materials, and reminders with our ecosystem of users about how to protect their tokens, how to protect their private keys, and how to keep them safe. The other thing is that our network is powered by many validator nodes or servers that keep the consensus running. So these are spread out across 4 continents in 12 different countries, which means that we have not only organizational redundancy, but we are able to handle any cascading failover. And also, one other thing that we do is that our wallet that we currently have is also like a 2-factor authenticator. So if you're connecting to a third-party service, you can use our wallet to do that securely. So you have all the security of our wallet that is now leveraged to allow you to connect to other ecosystems. For those who have more modern smartphones and devices, we have biometric support, thumbprint, facial support. And the other element from a cybersecurity perspective is that we continuously monitor the traffic that is happening not only between our ecosystem, but between our partners like Bittrex. So if there's any sort of suspicious activity taking place, we have AI tools that can detect it and we can act on it quickly. So, and also if there are any attacks on our system, like on the wallet infrastructure, we do have countermeasures in place on firewalls and other load balancers that ensure that the service continues to run smoothly and uninterrupted. So we've barely had any outages or downtime. And if there are any updates, we tend to update our ecosystem and communities in real time. Thank you.
No, thank you for that. And I'm sorry I glossed over that question. It's definitely critical, and I'm glad you're taking security very seriously.
Yeah.
And so I know we talked about it already, but just to reiterate, how can the community get involved? It's our last question of the day.
Yeah. So, first of all, please download our wallet, bantupay.org. That's really the entry point of to really participating in the ecosystem. If you need to acquire some XBN, we have Bittrex, our partner. They are there every day. You can sign up easily, and start trading the token. We also have a host of tools, the token creator, the laboratory for developers, the explorer. There are a host of APIs and documentation that you can use. But more important of all, we have the bantutalk.org forum where you can sign up, join, feel free to ask any questions you want. Then the amazing Telegram group, which is like, we have more than 50,000 users across our various groups in different languages. You can go there, listen to the comments, read what's there, interact with people, feel free. We understand that there are many other communities that have been created already for traders, for merchants, for basically educational groups. So reach out to them. We also have our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. And also, we are calling on builders really to come and learn and earn on Bantu. And our slogan is "I am because you are." And so, without our community, we can't really be here. And this is really a project for humanity. It's said that humanity started in Africa, so almost like the Big Bang, started here. And so it's for everybody. Feel free to reach out to us. We are always here to support you. Every now and then we give out rewards. I think there's a reward for this AMA we are doing today. So any idea that is out there to help people, there are rewards to earn. And we have a very fair system for distribution so that everybody is able to participate and earn something. So we are open, we are accessible. You can reach out to me anytime or any of our team members. And any questions, any ideas, any feedback, anything we can do to make or improve the service, please do. And we are super, super again honored and excited to have been invited by Bittrex to be part of this AMA. Thank you.
Well, we're honored as well to have you. So thank you, Ernest, for joining us today. I think we all learned a lot about Bantu and the XBN token. We're really excited about the partnership and being one more of your partners and for the future of Bantu.
Sure.
So if our viewers want to learn more about Bantu, please go to www.bantufoundation.org. That's BANTUFAUNDATION.org. Thank you again, Ernest, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Chris, and the whole Bittrex team, and looking forward to our next journey. Thank you.